Well, the first thing that I remember them issuing me was a steel helmet. No liner, just a pot. And the next thing I got that same day was a haircut. If you can call it a haircut. They peeled it right off you. I didn't cry about mine because I was used to a short haircut. And it was pretty well devastated. Darmstadt was about 80% devastated. There was still a lot of rubbish laying around. Well, I was born in Winfield, Louisiana. You know, where you're born is normally where your heart is, and no matter how far in life you go, I'd always wanted to be a farmer. I was raised up on a farm. My name is Albert Lee Adams. I served for 40 years in the U.S. Army and the U.S. Air Force Reserve, retiring as a Chief Master Sergeant from the Air Force Reserve. I volunteered for the draft along in April or May of 1953. If you got a can-do attitude, you can get through any of it. There's always going to be some hecklers, smart alecks. Those folks had a hard time. Basic training to me was not a big deal. I done what I was told when I was told to do it. Stayed on time, stayed dedicated, and so basic training was really not a problem for me. Maybe because I come off the farm, I was used to hard work. I learned not to volunteer real quick. We'd fill out one morning in the ranks, which we always did, and they'd start picking details for stuff. The guy asked me, said, "Hey, anybody here drive a truck?" So I put my hand up, and he said, "Okay, come on, son." Took me out there and introduced me to a wheelbarrow. Said, "That's your truck," hauling sand and rock. But we went through training, went through our field training exercise. The whole unit was shipped to Germany. We went to Darmstadt, Germany. I was there for 2 years. We maneuvered all over wall flicking, bomb holder, places like that. In December of 1956, I returned to the States. I got out of the Army in December and went to Army Reserve. I was in the Army Reserve until March, re-enlisted in the Army again, went back to Fort Sill. I was reassigned to a Corporal Missile Unit. We organized a new unit at Fort Sill with a Sergeant Missile System. They moved us to Darmstadt, Germany. There was snow on the ground. There was a lot of tall timber, a lot of underbrush, just pretty hard to get through. You couldn't walk a straight line. You had to go around stuff. About the first 45 minutes or an hour that we was doing the exercise, I saw right away that wasn't going to work. Being an old country boy, I picked me out a star, and I sent my spotter around brush and timber and stuff like that. When he got around there, I'd tell him to stop, and then would follow up. This team comprised of 3 people, me being the team leader and 2 other folks, which one was a pacer and one was a spotter. Went to the first leg, second leg, third leg, and the 4th leg was, of course, back home. We aced it. I guess maybe the only team that aced it. I had this place here, and when I got out, I came back here, and this is my home, and that's where I intended to stay. So I went to work at Tinker, but I also went in the Air Force Reserve. I did take a position in Sacramento, California, as Director of Military Personnel. I was there for 2 years. I didn't like that either, but I kept my farm. I even come back here on leave and combine wheat. First chance I got out of there and come back here. I was talked to about a position in the Pentagon. I never got serious about it. D.C. is nothing but an anthill full of people. You spend more time getting to work than you do working. Oklahoma is a peaceful state. I like the peace and quiet of where I am. I've lived a pretty good life, long life. I've done very well in the military. I have inspired apparently my children. 4 of them have served in the military, 2 grandsons. So I kind of consider myself as an example in that regard. I think I gave them a pretty good roadmap of how to do it. You always got to be on time, focused on what you're going to do and where you want to go. Have a can-do attitude and you can do anything. You can serve the military, your country, and you can serve your family both.